the 2021 ranking video script is coming along quite well. But before I can finalize some of my rankings, there are 7 series that have submitted some extra content in hopes of earning some extra credit that may lead to a higher ranking in the big list. Those 7 are Shadow House, Love Live Superstar, How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, Card Fight Vanguard, Overdress, Case Study of Vanitas, Obey Me, and Kaginato. 2 which we'll cover right now. Hey, Kaginato and Obey Me, is there anything new you're bringing to the table for Season 2? I added Angel Beat characters! A stacking helping of Demon Boys! Fantastic, moving on. Now, for the series that can actually have a chance to change their grades. First up the bat is Card Fight Vanguard, which on our last viewing I found to be a bit lacking, given the lack of explanation on the core game, and it trying to go samey with the plot in the back half. So, with expectations greatly lowered, did it see an improvement? Yeah, not enough to be anywhere close to a recommendation, and it fails in the concept in selling the card game to me, as I stopped trying to figure out how it worked and just focus on the flow of the fights. But the core focus on the relationship between Donji and his sister this season is fine. This season's villain's plan at least somewhat makes sense. Some of the side casts actually gets decent fights. Overall, an improvement that may just save the series from a placement in the bottom 10. As for Season 3 and the upcoming Season 4, I have no real interest in checking it out unless, the fans really want to hear my opinion on it for some reason, so put it in the comment if you want it, I guess. But let's jump over to Love Live Superstar, which I rather enjoyed, especially given its tighter focus on a cast of 5 girls instead of Love Live's usual 9. But given it's adding 4 new girls to the mix, did my feelings on the series diminish? Nope, I actually really enjoyed all but one of their additions. I do find the L-Tuber one gimmicky, but she's rather fine and inoffensive. As for the other 3, they're wonderful, especially the all but confirmed lesbian couple. I like both their individual bits, and their interactions are adorable. As for the core cast, they get the season development, some more than others. Otherwise, I do think the first season's songs are better, but again, Prelude, Nonfiction, and Sunshine would be hard to top. The only real negative is the ending, which leaves on a cliffhanger, but I'm still excited for Season 3. So while I don't think the second season helped gain any new spots, but it did shore up its current position on the list. But I put it off long enough. Let's talk about the only series that actually lost rankings because of their second season. How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. Why? Just take a look at the screenshot. Oof. Where do I begin? 1. Don't have to have slaves in your fantasy series, and that is a decision more series need to opt into. 2. The Romans tried that, and that didn't work. 3. There is no such thing as a good slave owner. And 4. Your main character is one to talk, given he turned the dragon girl basically into his slave. And 5. What were you thinking? 6. How dare you? And 7. Let's move on, as the season has other issues, such as the lack of any real threat. I know the series is just a power fantasy, but Season 1 at least gave us some foes to run through, but on Season 2, none really showed up. They literally introduced the entire Shadow Organization attempting to control the country from behind the scenes, only to kill them off in the next episode, which is incredibly weak. Also, we can get the cardboard cutout of our protagonist talking about Machiavellian politics and getting pulled into a romance by his 4 wives. Can't wait to see that number go up as my interest goes down. Just watch 2022's Genius Prince instead. But let's move on to the Case Study of Vanitas, whose second season gives us some new characters, developments for the side cast, building out the relationship between its 2 leads, and a clear idea of what the endgame will be. Everything you should expect from a second season. It did fix my issues with John, so that's good. But other than that, most of what I said holds true still. The strengths are in his characters and their interactions. A neat mix of aesthetics and plenty of moments for shippers. So if you enjoyed Season 1, you'll enjoy Season 2. What a surprise! Sarcasm! But for me, the best still remains to be Shadow's House, whose second season continues its excellent world building as we get to learn more about the actual Trials wing that our characters reside in, as well as the culture inside that wing, as well as the group that presides over it. Plus, more into the process of fusion that our heroes look to avoid. UARC's villain is well handled, and the behind-the-scenes politics provide intrigue that can later be explored. I highly recommend this series, and the second season only confirmed my recommendation, so don't be surprised if this one ends up being one of the best of the year. But that will wrap up my updates. Again, for those who haven't seen my initial reviews, my recommendations are Shadow House, Love Live Superstar, and the Case Study of Vanitas, with conditional recommendations for Obey Me if you like Demon Boys and Kaginato if you are a Kyoto animation superfan.